Good morning. Good morning. It's Thursday morning. It's 10 o'clock on the nose. And this is Renee Mariano. And we are in the studio. And this is Life Matters. And welcome, everyone. I have two guests today. I'm so excited. Abigail Lewis. Can I call you Abby?
Please do.
Oh, my goodness. Let's talk about Golden Rule. Let's talk about what you do. Okay. So, Abigail Lewis founded Golden Rule ReEntry in 2020. Did you? Prior to that, you received a practicum in restorative justice from Resolve.
So Resolve is an amazing organization that does mediation, and they also do restorative justice processes with youth, juvenile offenders. And restorative justice is a most fantastic evolutionary concept where instead of when something happens, the police and the judges and the jails all get involved and everybody's just whisked away and sort of not part of the process. Mm-hmm. Restorative justice is really reaching out to the victim, finding out what their needs are, and then creating a way for the victim and the person who committed the crime to talk about it and come to a place of healing, because that really heals it and allows everybody to move on.
And so mostly you work with people in the jails or in prison, or
for Golden Rule or for Resolve?
For Golden Rule.
Oh, yeah. So Golden Rule, we are community-based and trauma-informed, and we work with people who have done time in prison, mostly, or people who are impacted by a criminal background. So, and our
what does that mean, impacted by a criminal background?
You know, it's one of those things that if you don't have one, you don't realize how much it can hold you back. And it can be anything from not being able to get into a certain place to live, not getting jobs, being rejected, not even being allowed to volunteer sometimes.
And can't vote ever.
They're working on that. I think that
so.
might have just changed. You can't even get life insurance if you have a even a misdemeanor in your background.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Not fair.
No. So,
and today we have a very successful person that worked with Golden Rule, and we can. My dog is barking, and she's being very bad.
That's okay.
But I love her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Golden Rule took care of you, Crystal.
Yes.
And how did they do that?
By taking me around, when I first got here, she was very helpful with everything. Taking me to appointments, helping show me around, getting to know the area, all the programs they have to offer out here, and just everything. There wasn't one thing that I didn't get help with. It's almost like you have your own little, like, not like your little bestie kind of like on the side of you. That's how, because that's how she has stepped in. It's like she takes the role on to help you. Like there's things that outside of Golden Rule that she even helped me with. So like doing laundry for instance,
right?
Those kind of things, like, and to find that and to have that's such a blessing to have, especially when you don't have a car, you don't have this, you don't have that.
I
don't have a car. Yeah, I don't have a car, and
what happens when we say you is we're not totally here.
Okay.
So it's better to say I.
Okay. Well, I don't have a car. And
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Those things, and then also she told me about Resolve and trying to get involved with Resolve. The program Resolve is something that I really do want to get involved with. But housing, finding assistance for housing, which she helped me there too.
Who'd you go through for that?
We went to Access. Access has such an amazing program.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So how long, I'm going to ask you some questions. And when I was working inside, I worked inside, but I volunteered, is you don't ask certain questions. That's what I learned. So one of the things I want to ask you, and if you don't want to answer, it's okay.
Okay.
So how long were you down? Down means imprisoned.
So there's been multiple times that I've been down. So the longest I did was in just county was almost 2 years.
Okay, and so you were in the jail?
Yes, I was.
You look familiar.
Yeah, I was in the jail.
Yeah, do I look familiar?
No.
Okay, good. I used to go into the jail in certain programs a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So, all right, good. And what can you talk more about how your life used to be?
Oh, how my life used to be. Well, I'll start back at, and I'll kind of give it briefly because it's a long story.
Okay. We have a long time.
So it started off, I was young, had babies when I was, started at 17 years old. Ended up having 6 beautiful children.
Crystal.
Yes.
Woo.
I lost my children in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it was I didn't care anymore. I was mad at the world. It was 51-50. I didn't care. I had no hope. I had nothing in me. I was dead inside. I didn't want to live.
So the authorities took your children, is that correct?
It was over a simple letter that I didn't write. And back then, you couldn't tell me nothing. I wore a chip on my shoulder. You could not tell me nothing. I didn't give a crap, anything.
Right.
It didn't matter to me. Those were my kids, so you weren't telling me nothing.
Right. I know better.
Yeah. So from there on, there was multiple times where I tried to commit suicide, and for some reason, every single time, I swear to you, every single time, someone or something stopped me. Every single time. I mean, literally, where I had it to my head and a message popped up on my phone, or one when I had it to my hand, the cop showed up, and so many times there's where I was prevented from doing that. And then I did time getting in and out of jail, coming in and out, going to prison, went federal. From there, I got out, went back in. I mean, I did that multiple times.
Yep.
And then finally, in 2017, when I was sitting there in the jail cell, locked down 23/7, something happened, and this person, it was over a bag of chips.
It was over a bag of
chips. I did a drawing for her, and she did not pay me my bag of chips from commissary the next day. So I wanted to hurt her. I wanted to do things, So I was very, very angry. And my mentality from the streets and from being involved in other things was that it's give her full blown everything, just with full force.
Yep.
So from there.
So basically, you wanted to kill her.
Yes.
Yes.
To be honest, yes.
Yes.
And it was over a bag of chips.
Yep.
So I was ready to throw away my life.
Yep.
Over a bag of chips. And I sat there, and for some reason, not for some reason, we got locked down 24 hours that day. It just so happened to be 24 hours.
How perfect.
And it was because there was another fight in another area of the jail. And so we were there, and I'm sitting there walking back and forth. I am so mad, and I'm thinking the ways that I'm going to do this. And and something just popped up in my head like, Crystal, you're literally going to throw away your life over a bag of chips. And you got to think about this. Like, think about this. Let's break this stuff down. And then let's go inside and figure out why it is that you're feeling this way. Mm-hmm. And so I started thinking, and so I started peeling back layers, and I started thinking about, like, okay, well, first off, she doesn't come from the same maybe she's not streetwise, maybe she's not this, she's from that kind of life.
Right.
So does that mean that she needs to have that happen to her? Because she doesn't know this kind of stuff. She's
It's a
just
good way to
another
think.
girl, and she probably doesn't even have that mentality. So is it right for you to sit there and go and do the things you're going to do over a bag of chips? Like, really, you know? And then so when I asked myself that, I said, okay, well, if I could ask myself that, then let me ask questions about everything else. So I'm literally sitting there having a conversation with myself
Yep.
about, like, I went from childhood, I went from my mom, I went to my brothers and sisters, I went to other people in my life, and I just kept peeling back layers and checking
In your head
yes,
as you were sitting.
in my head.
Yeah, we call that in the prison that I volunteered in for 11 years. We call that a God shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Whether it's whatever God you choose, right?
yes.
Yeah. So keep going, babe.
So once I did that, I figured out, like, and I started doing it with people in the gangs, people, everything. I did everything, and it was almost like I found something, like,
Yep.
you know. So I understood, like, where my mom came from, why it is not to say that that's okay, but I figured out why she went through. What she went through was just a repeat cycle, and
Right.
was it right? No. But did she know any better? No, she didn't. She was, and you have to take care of that little girl inside of you.
Yes.
There's a little girl inside of you that didn't get taken care of somehow,
That's
whether
right.
it be from childhood or it usually stems from childhood.
Yep.
But and that's really what it's about, is taking
right.
care of the little girl that's inside of you, or the little boy that's inside of you, like. And it starts from childhood, like everything, and it just goes up and up and up. I learned about emotional coaching. Emotional coaching is another thing that I did not realize that there is, just like there is as walking and talking and learning how to crawl, is the same thing in emotional intelligence. Like, you
That's right.
grow and you learn and you walk and talk, but only emotionally.
That's right.
So, like, so I started learning all these things, and I started retraining my thought process, and I'm like, okay, let me.
You did
let's
this
see.
all by yourself?
Yes.
It just came through you?
Yeah. In a
Oh,
jail
that's
cell.
so gorgeous.
2017.
You know, there's a saying in areas that tend to help people coming out of the joint. That's
Yeah.
called prison, guys, just to let you know. It's lingo. And that is hurt people hurt people.
Yes, and it is true.
It
Hurt
is
people
true.
do hurt people.
That's right.
But the thing with that, you know, like, because I had an individual tell me one year, hurt people, and when he told me that, I was like, okay, it is true. Hurt people do hurt people.
Hurt people.
But does it make it as an excuse once you're aware of
No.
it? No.
Mm-mm.
Once you're aware of it,
Right.
that's when it becomes a problem, like where you need to work, you know.
Right,
'Cause
that's
most
where
of us
the work
don't know
Sorry.
we're doing it.
That's where the work begins.
Yes.
Is that understanding. I think that's one of the ways that the work begins. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You brought the right person.
Isn't she great?
Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Should we talk? Do you want to tell us more while we got you?
Yeah. Well, we'll go. I started retraining my thought process, and I started thinking about, like, you know, other people when they call cops and stuff. We don't call cops, but you know, I had to think outside. Like, not everybody is the same. Not
That's
everybody
right.
comes from the same background.
That's
So
right.
I have to, now that I'm aware of that, I have to not be so judgmental, and so you know, it doesn't mean that I have to change how I am, but I have to think about outside the box, like
Right.
other people and the way they are. It does not mean that they're bad people because they do that,
Right.
because we don't know their life. We don't know what they've grown up to be.
What their
we don't,
history
you know,
was.
we don't know
Right.
none of that stuff.
So
So-
you decided not to kill her.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
I did. It took me. We ended up being locked down for 2 days.
Wow.
And when I finally came out, you know, I let it be.
Perfect.
And the girl was fine. And you know, I took me a very long time, and hours and hours and hours to think about it. But from there, it just sparked something, and it just changed the way
Something
everything.
changed.
I was like, okay, I found something that I can grow off of and keep learning from, and I'm learning about myself, learning about others, learning about, so I just that's how it's been for me.
I'm so happy for you. Have you taught other people that have been incarcerated about this?
Yeah, I have.
That's really good.
I've talked to people back home. I've talked to people everywhere.
Yes.
And
That's
I tell them, because I
important to
know
share
that
it.
like becoming aware of something is really important. Just becoming aware.
That's right.
Once you're aware, though, I mean, and they're like, how do you get there? I'm like, you got to catch yourself. Even though you already have done it, you got to catch yourself.
What we
And then
call that is mindfulness.
Yes.
So you're doing the dance of life and you're watching the dance of life at the same time.
Yes.
And it's your dance.
Yep.
And you make it up.
Yes.
Yes. And sometimes we make up stories that aren't true. And if we can watch how we do that,
Yes.
then things shift.
Yeah.
Oh, are you lucky and fortunate and blessed?
Yes.
Oh, that's thrilling. When I taught inside Love and Forgiveness course, and there was a guy that walked into the course, and the man who trained me had been doing this for like 28 years. When I went to work with him side by side with a group of men, this was in a men's prison, and one of the guys walked in and he sat down with all of us and he said, I'm going to kill a guard. This guard, and this poor guy had a tumor behind his eye, and it was benign, but it was growing. And he had headaches all the time. And this guard just kept, this officer, as we call them, thank you, officers. And he kept just getting at him. So he walks in and he says to the group, I got to kill this guy. I'm going crazy. And I said to him, I was doing it on my own by then. I was teaching this course on my own. And I said to him, well, you could do that. You throw him off the tier. You could do whatever you've figured to do.
Yeah.
But you'll end up 23/7, either naked or in pink, behind bars, in a room by yourself for the rest of your life. Think about it. If you want to do it, first I'll put you in the hole for a while. And, then you're a goner forever. And you won't be able to hurt yourself, really. So you'll have to really be in hell for the rest of your life. And he came back. We did it every quarter. And we came back the next 3 months later and said, I didn't kill him. And he was African American. And one of the white guys in the training, and the Caucasian guy, said to him before he came back, during that time, and he said to him, I'm on the same tier as you, and I can see in your cell, and if you have a really bad headache and you can't stop hurting, just call my name and I'll talk you through it.
Oh.
It was stunning. I mean, this is just one of a myriad of stories that you could probably tell, and I can tell too. So we never didn't cry in Love and Forgiveness, So if I do get to work with Abby and Golden Rule ReEntry and teach this course again, which would be very exciting, I'd love for you to be there.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can support me
definitely
and
would.
everyone. That would be so amazing. Anyway, I took a lot of time, but I just wanted to let you know that I understand.
Yeah.
I deeply understand. Abby, talk with us more about Golden Rule ReEntry.
Oh, thanks. Hey, I just wanted to add, for those who aren't like down with the lingo,
Yeah.
like 23/7 means
Right.
you're locked up 23 hours a day.
Yeah.
With 1 hour out, 7 days a week.
In a cage.
In a cage.
Yeah.
And nothing likes a cage. That's something me and my husband say all the time, whether it's an animal or a person.
Right.
Nothing likes a cage.
Nothing.
So that's one of the reasons we started Golden Rule. I just kind of want to reflect on Golden Rule because I just love that conversation that just happened. And I want to acknowledge Crystal for the hard work she's done. And that process of realizing that other people are different and that they've had different life experiences is really so important. And Golden Rule really wants to help the mainstream community who maybe have never had any kind of contact with people who've done time to understand, to do what Crystal did, to have a moment and get out of that judgment space and realize that, we're all full spectrum. We all have so many aspects to our personalities. And, if you didn't get off to a good start, sometimes things go wrong and you end up in prison. It doesn't make you a bad person.
No.
And that's just so important to me that people understand that. And that's why I called it Golden Rule. It's really half the mission is not just working with the folks. It's helping people in the community, take a step back and do some of that reflection. And, unfortunately, when you're in a position of privilege, you're not really motivated to do that. You don't need to do that. It's kind of easier just to keep everybody in their boxes. So, I just want to, again, honor you, Crystal, for doing the hard work, because you had to overcome the obstacles to even get to that point where you're at a place to do that. So, it's a big deal. And based on that sort of model, Golden Rule, we are about community engagement. We really haven't even started yet. I've been
I know
I've been dinking around for 2 years just trying to figure this out. But starting in June, I got a generous grant from the Lakeman Maxey Foundation to hire a volunteer coordinator. And at that point, and that's going to probably start in June.
Good.
And I'm really excited about that, because the model is that anybody in the community who's interested in getting involved and helping out and working with people, there's no special skill needed other than a big heart and a big ear. Right. It's listening. It's just being, I call it the flat tire friend. Just be that person for someone who cares, who can listen, who can be there, offer rides. Transportation is actually a huge, big deal thing.
Oh, right.
But there's a zillion other ways to be involved too. We're going to do a mini Rogue book club where, you know how you read a book and you just want everybody to read a book.
Yeah. So
we're going to invite members of the community to recommend a book that they love. And then if one of our participants reads it, Golden Rule will pay for you to go have coffee.
Gosh, what a great idea. You're so creative. This is so good.
That's just one of the things.
So important.
Yeah. So, there's different levels of being involved. For the most excited about it, you can become a navigator. We do a really intensive training. We teach active listening, how to be trauma informed. We do a lot of education, so we don't cut you loose, just, here you go. And we also build relationships within our volunteer group so that, let's say you're working with somebody and they need, the example I always use, we should have done this for you, Crystal. Crystal needed a sofa. So we would put the word out to the community.
Right.
And I'm calling that the Golden Rule Network. It'll probably be a Facebook or email or text system.
All of that.
But, so you can get involved without any commitment at all. Just be part of the Golden Rule Network, and we'll let you know what we need. And if it's something that inspires you to step in and step up, then great. But the idea is that we leverage our networks. Because I know that, and I talked about this last time, a lot of what I've personally gotten jobs and things like this because somebody told me or somebody recommended me. And so I want people in the community to leverage their personal networks to help our participants reabsorb into the community and not keep them in a group of here's your services, go do your thing.
Right.
It's more like come be part of what we're doing.
Society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yep. It is. It is. There's, most of the guys that I worked with in Love and Forgiveness, were down for murder without possibility, sometimes with a possibility. And people would say to me, what do you do? I'm 4'9", by the way. And it's like, this is my program. Don't give me any trouble, pointing up to a 6'4" guy. It's so important when I looked in the eyes of someone that committed a horrendous crime, I saw God. I saw myself.
Yeah.
I didn't make up stories, as Crystal was talking about. I made up a story that they were human beings just like everyone else who got caught, because some of us do crimes and
never get caught.
Never get caught.
Yeah.
And so I think this is so perfect. I'm so happy you're here. What else can you tell us?
Gosh, there's so much.
So much. So we're looking for volunteers to get involved in this program that's only been going on for 2 years.
Yeah. And we're like I say, we're nimble and we're new and we're growing, and so we're going to keep developing and growing. So getting the community engagement has barely started. We do have a few community heroes already, though.
Oh, tell us about
well, we've
them.
got Susan and Rhonda lead every Wednesday at 4:00. We have a Zoom-based loved ones of the incarcerated support
yes.
group for people who have, because it's hard. People don't realize how hard it is on the family.
Oh, yeah.
The loved ones. So it's just a space for people to drop in and, they can let go of any shame and just talk about the real issues, because sometimes people don't talk about it at work or with their friends because of the judgment issue.
Oh, the shame, like you said, but it's not their shame. I'm sure you teach that.
Of course. Well, I don't teach. I listen. But yeah, I mean, we just create a space where people feel accepted and so they can talk about it. We also help them with a reentry plan because, there's better ways to do it, and we can help them find the resources they need before their loved one gets out. Sort of advise them to take it slow. Don't do a big surprise party for someone just getting out after 20 years. It's just not a good idea.
No.
That kind of stuff. And then Vanessa, she runs our every Monday night at 6:30. It's also Zoom based. We do a rest and revive meditation because that mindfulness, and a lot of people who've experienced trauma, they're out of resonant. They're agitated, I guess. I can't think of the right word because I'm.
Oh, Crystal said she was angry.
Yeah, angry, agitated. It's literally scientific. It's your neurochemistry from sustained trauma. And people who've been to prison, if they weren't traumatized before they went, they certainly will be when they get out.
Yep.
So anyway, this meditation, it's quick. It's like 20 minutes to half an hour, and it's just we go deep. You you turn off your camera, you close your eyes, and you basically fall asleep without falling asleep.
Yeah.
But we've had other amazing people step up. We've had Rebecca and Joe, they volunteered to tow somebody's fifth wheel. We've had things like that. We have Christopher, who's offered to have somebody be his roommate if it's the right fit. We have Gene Tressenfeld. He's a life coach here in Ashland. He's done a lot of.
I know him.
Yeah, Gene's awesome. So he's done a lot of coaching sessions and energy work with our our participants, and I love getting kind of I don't like the word woo woo, but just alternative therapies. We're not a counseling center. We're not a therapy. We don't do drug and alcohol treatment. We don't do things like that. But there's a lot of modalities for healing, and so we're very interested. So if you're a healer of any kind of modality, please reach out. If you're willing to donate a session or two, we'd make it so it feels right for you. But that's the model. So I'm always looking for massage therapists. I really want to offer that, because if you've been incarcerated for a long time, you haven't really had any kind of positive physical contact, I would imagine, for a while. So we're really looking, I'd love to do a clinic where we could just have all our people come and just get a little massage,
Oh, that would be lovely.
So that's, some
How
of the
about
ways.
acupuncture people?
Yes.
Yeah, so soliciting different businesses would be really a good thing, right?
Yeah. We actually have contact with acupuncture. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Ryan. It's Ryan. He's out in talent. He's amazing.
Good.
And so we have some of that going on. I just need to kind of organize it.
Boy, you've done a lot since I last interviewed you.
It's been
including
nonstop.
The confidence level. It's wonderful.
I know this is my life's work, and I can feel the universe pouring through me, and no obstacle is too small or too big,
Right.
And I love it because I get, I'm like friends with Crystal and all the other folks I work with. For me, it's just like, it's what I want to do. Everything else is like in the way,
That's
like
right.
just let me do this.
Well, let me tell the folks where they are on the air.
Yeah.
So first of all, I have to do a disclaimer, which I should have done in the beginning, but I'm human. KSKQ disclaimer. Any views or opinions expressed here are solely those of the host, that's me, and the guests, and that's Crystal and Abby, and do not necessarily represent those of KSKQ Community Radio. KSKQ's mission is to produce community radio that empowers the residents of the Rogue Valley, that builds sustainable and resilient communities through the exchange of ideas. Yes, and this is KSKQ 89.5 FM in the Ashland area. and 94.1 in the Medford, Jacksonville, and Phoenix, and Talent, and also on KSKQ.org. So we're also talking to the world, and that's really exciting. It's so wonderful to have you. So who we're talking to is Golden, talking with Golden Rule ReEntry, which is a nonprofit, and to Crystal, and we're keeping it anonymous, it's very exciting to have you today. It's part of my heart, definitely part of my heart.
Yeah.
To do this work. So, tell us more, Crystal. I have another question for you.
Okay.
And as I said, you do not have to answer anything I ask you. I think I want you to feel safe.
Okay.
So I'm good. I won't get my feelings hurt if you say, hell no. I'm sorry, heck no. How long have you been out?
How long? Oh, this is the longest I've been out. I have been out since 2019.
Out of prison since?
Yes.
Yes. And when you had that experience of change of mind, change of heart, how long ago was that?
2017 is when it began. Really, I don't know if it began even before that, prior. I mean, I really have to sit down and think about it, because, like, I've thought about a lot of things. I didn't even know myself. I did not even know myself. That I literally didn't. That's crazy. And I had to lose the very ones that I love the most in order to find myself.
That's right.
And even though it was very hurtful and everything and painful, and I had to go through that in order to be where I'm at today, in order to become the person I'm becoming today. I had to.
Yep.
Have
you seen your kids?
Yes, I actually got custody of one.
Of one?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
And I have my own place now. I have, I'm getting off of paper in August.
What does that mean?
Off probation.
Probation.
Yeah. After a decade.
Whew. Wow. Wow. That's so wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
And now you can help others. And
Yes.
that's why you're here today.
Yes.
Yes. It's a change of mind, change of heart, can happen to anyone.
Yes. And the thing is, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. That's something that doesn't happen overnight. I'll tell you that. It takes a lot of work, and it takes years and consistency. But I know anybody can do it, and I know, and they'll get there.
Were there any programs inside that you went to?
Yeah, I went to
Inside
programs.
prison.
I went to parenting classes. I went to emotional coaching classes. I did NA, AA. I did mental health awareness. I did, women's group. I did trauma. I think it was trauma. It was just trauma something. I'm not quite sure what the other thing was with it, but I did multiple things.
That's good. It got you out of the cell too.
Yeah. It always got you out of the cell.
That's right. It's like, what programs can I go to?
And sign up for every single one of them to get out of there. So.
Yeah. And did you share your story in some of those programs?
Yes, I did. And I've shared with other people. The one thing that I figured out was that you have to find the beauty in every single situation. I put it as beauty. Others can put it as gift, whatever fits you. But there's always the beauty in everything. There's always something you have to pull in, negative, positive, anything it is. There is always the beauty in all of that.
Yes.
And once you can find that and look for that every single time you go through, good or bad, you'll be okay.
That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, I because of the 11 years that I did volunteer inside, I can agree with you. It's amazing. It's amazing. And there are some that have that mentality, some people inside that'll never change.
Yes.
And those are the people that you try to stay away from as
Yeah.
much as possible.
And those are the ones that are just stuck on the hurt people,
Yeah.
hurt people.
Right. That's right. So what else can you tell us about that you know, that you're not playing your cards real close to your chest? So did you get sober
Yeah, I got sober.
inside?
I used inside. Every now and then.
By the
I
way,
would get
you can get
used.
anything
Yeah.
inside.
Yes.
Anything.
So I would use here and there, and then I wouldn't. It just depend. It depend. But then I got out. I did relapse, and I've been clean since March 28th, 2021. So I've had a year clean.
Excellent. Oh my
Yay.
God, that's so good. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to treatment. I
did.
argued with the courts, and I told them, "Put me in jail. I don't care. I'm not going to treatment. You're not.
Right.
You're not making me go to treatment.
Amy
Put me in jail."
Winehouse, right?
And yes,
Yeah.
And they were like, "We're not putting you in jail.
No.
You're going to treatment." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm not."
No, I'm not.
And guess
I'm
where I
sorry to
ended up?
laugh. Yeah.
Treatment.
Yeah. You
Which
betcha.
thankfully, I like looking back at it. I am so thankful for that because now I have my son. And had I not have gone, who knows where, like, I don't know. I can't honestly say I don't know where I would be at.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah. I understand completely. I have 36 years without a drink or a drug.
Wow,
In a freaking
congratulations.
row. In a row is very important.
yes.
So I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. And people that are listening who have had struggles with drugs and alcohol, they understand. You're a miracle.
Yeah.
You're a
now I have
miracle.
my 17-year-old.
17.
Yeah.
You look like you're 17.
And thank you. And with him, he has helped me through all kinds of things
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I mean, for having being absent in his life for so many years and abandoning him and everything else, it's like, wow, that's forgiveness.
That's right.
And if the children and kids can do that, teenagers,
We can do
we
it.
can.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yes, I understand. I hope our listeners understand too. It's like I'm representing a lot of people out that are listening to tell you that this is a precious human being sitting here, no matter what she did in her life. That's the way it is. I don't think there's one person on the planet that hasn't done something wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong is a relative word, but something where they could have gotten in trouble, as we said in the beginning, and got lucky.
Yeah.
Just lucky.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for sharing this.
Yes.
And you have
Thank you for having
anything
me.
else you want to? We have about 15 minutes, and I want to make sure that we talk more about Golden Rule. And I didn't even look at the questions.
That's okay.
This is
I think
so
we've.
exciting. Are we doing okay?
I think we're doing all right.
All
Yeah.
right.
I actually did want to let everybody know, anybody who is interested in ACEs. ACEs are adverse childhood experiences. It's such a profound understanding. Once you understand the neurobiology behind what happens to people who've experienced chronic toxic situations in their childhood, it explains a lot. And Peter Buckley, who was our congressman, does this wonderful class, and it's today, and it's free, and it's from 2:30 to 4:30. So anyone who has any interest in this subject, Crystal took the class.
Is it a Zoom class?
It is a Zoom class.
Okay.
And it's a long and difficult URL. It's on the Southern Oregon Education School District website. That's SOESD. But I have a link directly to the Zoom. And if anybody who's listening to this would like me to text it to them, I'm going to give you my cell phone. It's okay. It's out there already. Just don't call me. Just text me, and I'll send you the link to get in that class at 2:30 today. And
541 Is it
Yeah.
541?
Yep.
Go ahead.
690-0745.
So if you want to go to this class, which is called...
It's adverse childhood experiences.
So this will help you to become more aware
Yeah, it'll
of what happened to you. Be brave. Be brave because there are other people like you.
Yeah, it's great for people who've had rough childhoods, but it's also great for anybody who wants to just expand their understanding of people. It's
Yes.
a great class. I also kind of want to do a little plug, if I may.
Please.
Golden Rule is actually going to be doing a presentation next Tuesday on the 26th of April at the Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library. That's
Oh.
in Ashland. It's at 1757 Ashland Street, right near the I-5 exit number 14. It's just like within a mile from there. So at 7 o'clock, we're going to do a lecture, and it's going to be compassion versus cancel culture. It's mostly going to be about Golden Rule, but we want to contextualize what's happening in the world today and how people feel like canceling each other out is a form of activism where really it's actually doing quite a bit of harm. And what we'd like to encourage people to do is actually be more compassionate to one another, because it's through compassion that we can really heal and lift each other up.
That's correct. So this class is, what time does it start?
Okay, so this is not a class. It's more like a presentation with videos,
Okay.
and it'll be interactive. So it's at 7 o'clock, Tuesday, April 26th.
Oh, it's soon.
Yeah, it's next Tuesday. That's why I wanted to do this interview
Good.
right now. So mark your calendars and please come on down. If you want more information, you can go to www.rvml.org.
RVML.
Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library.
Library.
Yeah.
So they have the information about
Yeah.
it. And the phone number, let's do that again, your phone number.
My phone number.
So that if somebody doesn't have a chance to write it down now, they can call you.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
text.
Or text. Text is better.
Text is better.
Text is better.
Yeah. So again, the cell phone number to call or text is 541-690-0745. And if you want to just check out the website, I should have this in my events area, but I don't yet. But if you want to check out our website, it's Golden Rule ReEntry.org.
That's one word.
All one word, Golden Rule ReEntry.org. I don't know why I'm looking at my card like I don't
Like
know
you
that.
don't know
I kind of know that already.
I know. So I have a couple of things I have to say. We have underwriters that help us to stay on the air because this is an all-volunteer radio station. So, community radio. So I have to acknowledge a couple of people. I want to anyway, a couple of underwriters. KSKQ recognizes the nonprofit community support of the Klamath-Siskiyou Wildlands Center.
Love them.
KS Wild is dedicated to partnering with individuals and communities to stand up for the forests, waters, and wildlife of Southern Oregon and Northern California, ensuring a legacy of clean water, wild rivers, and towering ancient forests. Details about forest and river conservation and KS Wild's Rogue River Keeper program are available at kswild.org. That's one of our underwriters. So they gift us money, and we talk about their program, and so we can stay alive here on the air.
They're one of the best, Think Global, Act Local organizations. I really love them.
Oh, I'm so glad. You can say that. I have to just read what's written.
Oh, okay. That's just
You
my
can.
opinion, of course.
No, yes, you can. You can. Any opinion. And also, of course, El Tapatio Mexican Restaurant is one of our supporters. And support for KSKQ comes from our listeners and from the Padilla family and El Tapatio Mexican Restaurant in Ashland. El Tapatio offers Mexican fare for takeout, delicious for delivery and for outdoor dining on its heated patio. Open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. at 1633 Highway 99 North in Ashland, behind Ashland Motors. Information at 541-488-2276. And if you want to make a donation or become an underwriter to KSKQ Community Radio, just call 541-482-3999. We just had a pledge drive and we cleaned up. We went our goal from some generous people that love this station and love the programming that we put on the station. And I get to do this for fun and for free once a week, and it's sure fun. So you're looking for volunteers, is that right? Golden Rule ReEntry.
Yeah, we're looking. If you want to go to our website at goldenrulereentry.org, there's a button right there that says Get Involved, and there's just so many ways to get involved. You can even donate your recycling.
What?
And if you already have an account with the Bottle Drop Center and have accumulated funds, you can actually donate that to Golden Rule if you want to, just by clicking a button or two. There's lots of ways to get involved.
Oh, my goodness. And also offering a class or service. So you need drivers to take people places, even though there's a pretty good bus system. Sometimes that's impossible to get on time.
Sometimes the timing's not right.
Right.
And one of the things with our career and entrepreneurial, we just actually applied for a grant, but we want to make it a point to always take our participants to job interviews.
Yes.
So that they feel comfortable and not nervous trying to figure out how to get there. And first week of work, we also emphasize that as a time to give that kind of transportation support.
And nice clothing can be donated, like women's clothing, men's clothing.
I wish I could say yes. I don't have a space, and my closet is full, and I wouldn't know where else to keep this stuff. That's something we're working on, is getting a space so that we can start, because people do want to give things, and we want these things. So next time I'm back, hopefully if you have us back.
Oh, of course I'm going to have you back.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that some more.
And you can also become a sustainer by making a donation.
Donations really help us, especially,
monthly.
A sustaining donor is someone who just gives an amount monthly. And even if it's small, like $5 or $10, having something that we know that we can work with every month makes a huge difference. So if you're inspired, but you don't have a lot to give, but you'd like to give something, we would really appreciate it.
And so go to goldenrulereentry.org.
Yeah, got a donate now button on every single page. So we will help you do the right thing.
And also smile.amazon.com. Tell me about that.
That's a program Amazon has. For those of you that use Amazon, if you go to smile.amazon.com, it's the exact same thing. You can choose a charity to support, and then anytime you buy anything from Amazon, a little bit of that money will come to us. So if you don't already have a chosen charity with Amazon, we'd sure appreciate that.
And donate cans or donate money directly through www.bottledropcenters.com. So you say Golden Rule ReEntry.
Yeah, you could pick us out there as one of their charities they support. So that's a great way. And if you want to get involved and you're just not sure, that's fine. Call me with that number, 541-690-0745, and we'll just talk to you. We'll find out what your schedule is, what your edge is as far as how much time you want to give us and all that, and we'll work with you. So don't feel like you have some barrier if you're interested. Just talk to us.
So I'm going to appeal to the guilt that people... It's like if you've ever done anything that you're ashamed of, but you didn't get caught, this is the place to feel better. Send money so you'll feel better about that, because we all have.
It's true. It's true.
So, Crystal, do you have any final words for us?
I guess I would say is to never give up.
Yep.
Never give up.
Yeah. You didn't give up.
No.
It's so easy to give up.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. But
and when you're feeling hopeless and like there's nothing, dig deep inside yourself, and I promise you'll find something.
Yeah, to stay here for.
Yep.
Right. What a pity. And it hurts so many people when you give up.
Yes.
It hurts you temporarily, but it really hurts a lot of people
Yes,
for a
it
lot of
does.
years when you give up. That means committing suicide. We want to talk about that. So some people get so desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people
Yeah.
get very desperate, and they think that if they stop their life that the pain's going to change, or if they get loaded,
It's so heartbreaking.
that the pain's going to change. But then you come to or come back for a minute and the pain's still there, only worse. Yep. Good job, Crystal.
Yeah.
How brave of you to come here.
Thank
How
you.
brave of you to be alive.
Thank you.
Yeah, how brave of you to be free. There's freedom,
Yeah.
such freedom. More than just the words or the letters.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to meet you and be with you as well.
Thank you for
Abigail
having us.
Lewis. Pardon?
So thank you for having us.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, I'd like you to come back soon.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah.
And I think, we'll always bring somebody because, it's really, I'm just so impressed with Crystal and all the other folks that I work with because they have gone through so much. And it does deepen you. And that's why I love this work, because I love sharing time with people that have really been there.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
How many people so far do you have that have caught on to this like Crystal?
I would say, you mean that Golden Rule is working
Yeah,
with? I'd
yeah.
say 30 to 50 people right now. And it's mostly just me.
That's why you need volunteers. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Mainly we work with Federal. I'm part of the Federal ReEntry Court team.
Oh, it's
So,
feds.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
so
feds.
mostly it's with feds and primarily people who've done time in prison, not
Yeah.
so much local jail.
Right.
Revolving door stuff, but we're helping people reintegrate. Some people have never used, or haven't used cell phones really, or
Right.
don't understand Wi-Fi, those kind of things. So
Yeah.
we're, kind of trying to bridge that gap for people and surround them with love.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being in a place where all you see is hardened other people. You're on a schedule. I'm talking about it. You could talk about it all the time. Your time is not. There's no private time.
You're not picking out your clothes or your food.
You know, the one thing that I found to be what a lot of us are missing, and what we find it when we are incarcerated, when we're in prison or jail, is routine and
Yeah.
consistency. Something that somewhere we lacked in life.
Yep.
And so we tend to find ourselves missing that. I've
Yes.
missed it.
Miss the prison experience. Yeah.
Because there was routine and
they
there
were
was
telling you what to do when.
yeah.
Yep.
And so I told my PO that, and he's like, well, tell me why you can't do that now that you're out. And I was like, wait, that's true. What the heck am I thinking?
Well, you could say I could be my own officer in
I'm
charge.
like, I could, it is my life,
Yeah.
I set my stuff, so, and I do have routine now, so, and I
Good.
do have consistency.
Doesn't that feel familiar?
Yeah.
Actually, that's a wonderful way to turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an interesting way of life, and human beings can adapt to almost anything,
Yes.
even prison for years and years.
Yes.
But then you come out into this.
And it causes a lot of problems when you come out, especially being locked up and being used to being locked up. When you come out here, it's like the noise is too loud for you. Too many people. There's too many everything. But you learn to gradually work with it and get used to it and everything. And before you know it, you're
back.
and doing all kinds of things.
But
so.
doing good things,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll be right back
Yep.
inside. It doesn't take long if you mess up.
Exactly.
They're watching.
Yeah. Oh,
They definitely are watching.
It's such a privilege
Yeah.
to have Crystal and Abigail here. Bless you. Bless you both.